Hello and welcome. Today in our language lesson, we are going to learn about types of sentences. Why do we want to know about different types of sentences? I'm glad you asked. As a writer, we want to bring variety, freshness to our writing. And if we keep using the same structured sentences, our reader is going to become very bored. And we don't want that. So today we're going to look at 4 ways to mix up your writing and make it more interesting. Now the first type of sentence that we're going to look at is one that is very basic, very bare bones. This is the type of sentence that you probably first learned to write. It is called a simple sentence. A simple sentence has a single independent clause without any dependent clauses. For example, they watched a movie. There's one subject and one predicate. The next type of sentence that we're going to talk about is called a compound sentence. And in a compound sentence, you have 2 independent clauses and no dependent clauses. Compound sentences are held together by the glue of a conjunction and a comma. Let's look at our sentence. They watched a movie and she read a book. Now we see there are 2 independent clauses. They watched a movie, she read a book. Look closely and see how the 2 independent clauses were put together by a comma and a conjunction. So a compound sentence, 2 simple independent sentences held together by a comma and a conjunction. Now moving on, we are going to look at a complex sentence. A complex sentence is a sentence that has 1 independent clause and at least 1 dependent clause. For example, before she watched the movie in the theater, she read the book. Now notice how our independent clause, the sentence that can stand by itself, she read the book, is connected with a dependent clause. Before she watched the movie in the theater. Now, as we all know that if we would have gotten rid of the before and left it with just she watched the movie in the theater, this would become a compound sentence. But no, we needed to know when she read the book. It was before she watched it in the theater. So we had to add the before there. Therefore, making she watched the movie in the theater a dependent clause. We can't just say before she watched the movie in the theater, because everyone will be like, yeah, what happened? What? So we cannot do that. So a complex sentence is an independent clause joined together by a dependent clause. Notice that they're joined together by a simple little comma. Before she watched the movie in the theater, comma, she read the book. Finally, we have the compound complex sentence. A compound complex. These are long sentences and need to be punctuated very carefully. So let's look at how we do that. A compound complex sentence has 2 or more independent clauses joined with a conjunction and a comma, and at least 1 dependent clause. Let's look at our example. Even though I love books, I didn't like that one, but I shall read the entire thing. Our independent clauses, I didn't like that one, and I shall read the entire thing. Those are simple, independent clauses joined together to make a compound sentence. However, there is a dependent clause, even though I love books. This is making it an even more complex sentence. Therefore, we have a compound complex sentence. We have our punctuation, even though I love books. What? You're leaving me hanging here. Oh, comma, I didn't like this one. Comma, but, that's a conjunction, I shall read the entire thing. That was a very complex, compound complex sentence. Remember, we want to keep our readers reading. So let's throw in some variety, make it exciting, and have fun. So, I bid you farewell, and keep writing better sentences.